What you're about to witness is the moment that changed everything. The cameras stopped rolling. The lights were supposed to go dark. Monday Night Raw was officially over. But what happened next? What happened in that ring after millions of fans turned off their screens? That's the story nobody was supposed to see. That's the story that's going to shake the entire wrestling world to its core. And if you stick with me until the very end of this video, you're going to understand why this moment, this single encounter between three brothers, might be the most important thing to happen in WWE this entire year. This is SLAMZONE, and I'm about to take you inside the most emotional, most powerful, most tear-jerking moment that happened when the world wasn't watching. But before we dive into this incredible story, I need you to do me one favor. I need you to understand that what we're building here isn't just a channel. It's a community. It's a family of wrestling fans who live for these moments, who feel every emotion, every twist, every turn. And if you're someone who gets goosebumps when you see real emotion in that squared circle, then you belong here with us. Hit that subscribe button right now. Not for me, but for yourself. Because you deserve to be part of something special. You deserve to never miss moments like the one I'm about to share with you. Ring that notification bell because trust me, you don't want to be the one who misses what's coming next on this channel. Now, let me paint you the picture. Raw has just gone off the air. The production crew is starting to pack up equipment. The announcers have taken off their headsets. The audience, exhausted from 3 hours of non-stop action, is beginning to gather their signs and their merchandise. The energy in the arena is starting to fade. People are checking their phones, talking about what they just witnessed, slowly making their way toward the exits. It's that strange limbo moment when reality starts to creep back in, when you remember that what you just watched was a show, entertainment, a production. But then something happens. Something that makes every single person in that arena freeze in place. The tribal chief's music doesn't hit. There's no pyrotechnics. No dramatic entrance. Roman Reigns simply walks out from behind the curtain with a purpose in his step that you can feel even through a phone screen. He's not in character. Or maybe, and this is what makes it so powerful, he's more in character than he's ever been. Because the tribal chief isn't just a persona. It's who Roman Reigns has become. It's the armor he wears. It's the burden he carries. And he's walking to that ring to address his family. The Usos. Jimmy and Uso. His cousins. His brothers. The men who have stood by his side through absolute wars. The men who have bled with him, suffered with him, conquered with him. But also the men he's hurt. The men he's manipulated. The men he's used as weapons in his quest to remain on top of this industry. You can feel the tension. Even though this is supposed to be a feel-good moment, even though Raw is over and everyone can relax, there's still this electricity in the air. Because with Roman Reigns, you never know. You never know if you're about to witness an embrace or a betrayal. You never know if the tribal chief is going to show love or demand loyalty through fear. The Usos are standing in the ring, and you can see it on their faces. That mixture of respect, love, and just a hint of uncertainty. Because they know Roman better than anyone. They know what he's capable of when he feels disrespected. They know what he's capable of when someone doesn't acknowledge him. Roman steps through those ropes with the kind of presence that only a true main eventer can have. His eyes are locked on Jimmy and G. The crowd, the thousands of people who were about to leave, they're sitting back down. They're pulling out their phones. They know something special is about to happen. They can sense it. That's the magic of professional wrestling. Even when the cameras aren't rolling, even when it's not official, these performers understand how to create a moment that matters. The tribal chief stands face to face with the Usos, and for what feels like an eternity, nobody moves. Nobody speaks. It's just three men, three brothers bound by blood and battle, standing in the middle of that ring with the weight of everything they've been through hanging in the air between them. Think about the journey these three have taken together. Think about the bloodline saga that has dominated WWE for years now. The betrayals, the reconciliations, the violence, the brotherhood. Uso, the one who Roman pushed the hardest, the one who Roman broke down and built back up in his own image. Jimmy Uso, the one who had to watch his twin brother suffer under Roman's thumb, who had to make the impossible choice between his brother and his cousin. And Roman Reigns, the undisputed Universal Champion, the head of the table, the man who convinced himself that controlling his family was the only way to protect them, the only way to ensure their legacy. And then Roman speaks. His voice isn't amplified by a microphone. This isn't for the broadcast. This is intimate. This is real. He starts talking to Jimmy and G, and people in the front rows are straining to hear every word. He's talking about family, about loyalty, about what it means to be part of something bigger than yourself. And here's what's so incredible about this moment, what's making people in that arena start to get emotional. Roman Reigns is praising them. The tribal chief, the man who has spent years demanding acknowledgement, the man who has made everyone bow to him, is acknowledging his cousins. He's telling them how proud he is. He's telling them that everything they've accomplished, they've earned. Every championship, every victory, every moment of glory, they deserve it. And you can see Jimmy and G, these tough, battle-hardened veterans, starting to get emotional themselves. Because when's the last time Roman Reigns said something like this without it being followed by a demand, without there being strings attached? The audience is completely silent now. People have their hands over their mouths. Some are wiping away tears. Because this is what wrestling is really about. Not just the moves, not just the matches, but these human moments. These connections between people who have shared something extraordinary together. The Usos are nodding, they're embracing Roman, and you can feel the genuine love between these three men. This isn't a storyline. This is real respect between real family members who happen to be performers at the highest level of sports entertainment. Roman wraps his arms around both of them, pulling them in close, and he says something that makes both Jimmy and G break into these huge, genuine smiles. Whatever he said, it landed. It meant something. And suddenly the entire arena erupts. Everyone who stayed, everyone who felt like they might be witnessing something special, they're on their feet. They're cheering. They're chanting for the bloodline. Not because they're heels or faces, not because of storylines or booking, but because they just witnessed something authentic and beautiful. Before we go any further, before I tell you what happened next and why this moment is so significant for the future of WWE, I need you to do something for me. Actually, do it for yourself. Smash that like button right now. Share this video with every wrestling fan you know, because this is the kind of content that deserves to be seen. Drop a comment below and tell me, do you think the bloodline is stronger than ever, or is this the calm before another storm? Join the SLAMZONE family by subscribing, because we're just getting started, and the content coming your way is going to blow your mind. Every single week, we're bringing you the stories, the analysis, the moments that make wrestling the most passionate form of entertainment on the planet. Now, here's why this moment matters so much. For over 3 years, Roman Reigns has been the focal point of WWE. His championship reign was historic. His character work has been some of the best we've ever seen. But it's been built on dominance, on fear, on making everyone in his orbit understand that he is the head of the table and everyone else is beneath him. Even with the Usos, there was always this underlying tension. Were they there because they wanted to be, or because they were afraid of what would happen if they weren't? This moment after Raw went off the air, this changes the narrative. Because Roman wasn't performing for cameras. He wasn't cutting a promo for ratings. This was Roman Reigns the man, not just the tribal chief, the character, showing genuine appreciation for his family. And in the world of professional wrestling, where everything is analyzed and dissected, where fans are always trying to separate what's real from what's scripted, this felt undeniably real. Jimmy Uso, standing there with his arm around his brother and his cousin, looked like a man who had finally found peace with everything they'd been through. All the conflicted loyalty, all the hard choices, it all led to this moment of unity. Uso, the one who arguably suffered the most under Roman's rule, who had to completely submit and remake himself, he looked validated. Like everything he endured had purpose. Like his sacrifice meant something. And Roman, the expression on his face was something we rarely see. Vulnerability. Genuine affection. Pride that wasn't about himself, but about the people he spent years building up and tearing down and building up again. This is the complexity that makes the bloodline storyline so compelling. It's not just good guys versus bad guys. It's family drama on the biggest stage in the world. It's Shakespearean in its scope and emotional depth. The three of them stood in that ring for several more minutes, just talking, just being together without the pressure of a live broadcast, without the need to hit certain story beats or set up the next angle. And the crowd gave them that space. Everyone understood they were witnessing something special, something that couldn't be manufactured or scripted. The collective emotion in that building was palpable. Then something beautiful happened. The three of them did the bloodline pose together, the one that has become iconic over the past few years, and the crowd absolutely lost their minds. Flashbulbs from phones lit up the entire arena like stars. People were screaming, crying, chanting Usos over and over again. It was a celebration of everything the bloodline has meant to WWE, everything they've accomplished together, and everything they still have left to achieve. As they made their way up the ramp together, arms around each other's shoulders, you could see WWE officials and other wrestlers watching from backstage, many of them visibly moved by what they'd just witnessed. Because everyone in that locker room understands the sacrifice and dedication it takes to perform at the level these three men perform at. Everyone understands the toll that storylines this intense and personal can take on your psyche. And seeing the bloodline together, unified, at peace with each other, it was a reminder of why we all fell in love with professional wrestling in the first place. These aren't just characters. They're performers putting their bodies and their hearts on the line every single night to create moments that matter. And what happened after Raw went off the air was a moment that will matter for years to come. Because now we know the bloodline isn't broken. It's not fractured beyond repair. If anything, it might be stronger than it's ever been. Roman Reigns acknowledging and praising the Usos without any ulterior motive, without any manipulation, that's character growth. That's evolution. That's what great storytelling looks like. So what does this mean for the future? Are we about to see the Bloodline dominate WWE in a way we haven't seen before, but this time as a true brotherhood rather than a dictatorship? Or is this the beautiful moment of calm before the inevitable storm, before jealousy or ambition or outside forces tear them apart once again? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: WWE has lightning in a bottle with the Bloodline, and moments like what happened after Raw prove that this story still has so many compelling chapters left to tell. If you made it this far, you're exactly the kind of passionate wrestling fan we want in the SLAMZONE family. Hit that subscribe button right now if you haven't already. Destroy that like button. Turn on post notifications so you never miss a single breakdown, analysis, or exclusive moment like this one. Share this video everywhere because this is the content that reminds us why we love this business. And drop a comment telling me what you think. Is Roman Reigns finally becoming the leader the Bloodline deserves, or is he just getting better at manipulation? Let's talk about it in the comments. What happened after Raw went off the air wasn't just a feel-good moment for the fans in attendance. It was a statement. A declaration that the Bloodline is forever. That blood is thicker than championships, thicker than individual glory, thicker than anything this business can throw at them. Roman Reigns, Jimmy Uso, and Uso showed us that underneath all the drama, all the betrayals, all the violence, there's genuine love. And in professional wrestling, in sports entertainment, in this wild, unpredictable world we're all obsessed with, love is the most powerful force of all. This is SLAMZONE, and I'll see you in the next one. Keep believing in the magic, keep supporting the performers who give us everything, and keep acknowledging your tribal chief. Because whether you love him or hate him, you can't deny that Roman Reigns and the Bloodline are creating moments that will be talked about for generations. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of this journey. Now go out there and spread the word. SLAMZONE is where the real wrestling stories get told.